Hi, it's Frankie Widows here, and I wanted to show you some snippets from my online lash mapping and eye styling course. Now, this course is like no other out there. This is a super in-depth course. It's approximately 7 to 8 hours long. It's got tons and tons of content with the most advanced stuff out there when it comes to lashes. And I honestly think that you're going to struggle to find a course like this, which is going to teach you all you need to know to excel you into being the most skilled lash artist in your area. Now, this online course draws on my 12 years experience in the industry, and in that time I've travelled the globe, I've trained thousands of students, I've judged at the top lash competitions, so I've got to be able to know my stuff to do that, and I get invited to speak at the world's biggest lash events. Now, this course took me 6 months to develop because there is so much content to it. And what I wanted to do was just show you some snippets from this course, because I know it's always daunting to invest into something and to make sure that you get value for money, especially in an oversaturated lash industry of everyone doing online courses now. Well, actually, most of them just have a phone. They video a few snippets of lashes and then they call it a course. But I am not those lash artists. So hopefully these few snippets that you're going to see will give you an insight into what is included in this online course and help you to make the decision to really invest in yourself and take your lash game to the next level, which of course in turn is going to attract more clients to your business. You're going to be able to charge what you're truly worth, and you're going to be one of the most sought after lash artists in your town. I know all of this because I've been there and I've done it. And from there, you can literally sit back, you can watch reputation spread about how amazing your lashes are compared to your competition. So here we go. I hope you enjoy this preview. So in this section, we are now going to be looking at different lash curls. So those that we see on the client, so they're natural lash curls, as well as the lash curls that we have available to us with the extensions that we use, and what their jobs are and how we can use them correctly when we're styling our clients. So each client you meet is going to have a different curl of natural lash, and not every single lash along that lash line will have the same curl. There may be areas such as the inners which grow very straight or even downwards compared to outer corners which may have a very strong curl. Now, some clients' natural lashes may even be so curly or crisscrossy that it can actually look as though they have an outgrown lash lift. They don't, it's just how their natural lashes grow. And our job as the lash artist is to be able to identify what types of curl or curls that client has. So if we start from left and move across here on the right, the first one we're going to talk about is the downward growing natural lashes. I actually have this. So when we have a downward growing natural lash, it's also important to understand where we need to attach the extension. So I always favour to attach to the top of the natural lash to help create lift. If we attach underneath the natural lash, the extensions are naturally going to want to go downwards, whereas if we go on top of the natural lash, we can then angle the extension to where we want it and then create lift on top of a naturally downward growing lash. Now, if we move over to straight, it's kind of the same principle, but obviously a straighter lash, comes out, it doesn't go downwards. Again, attached on the top of the natural lash, it just helps to create that lift. And if you've got clients as well that have obviously lived all of their life with straight or downward grown natural lashes like me, we hate the fact that we always feel like we feel sleepy. So we want a lot of lift going on just to balance those naturally straight or growing down natural lashes. Now, you're going to also get a lovely lash, which is the slight curl. I love working on slight curl. This is so easy. You can attach anywhere, top, side, underneath. This type of curl just provides you with a really lovely platform, so you can kind of fill your boots when it comes to this type of natural lash curl. And then if we move over to the very right, the extreme curl, these lashes will be curled very much upwards and back into the eye. You have to attach underneath the natural lash to correct direction. If you go on top, firstly, not only is it difficult to attach an extension because it won't literally fit in because the natural lashes are curling backwards, but you'll create a really extreme curl that will just curl backwards into the head and look really, really strange. So this is another reason why assessing your client from the side is really important. If you look at your client from the front, it's quite difficult to assess what their curls are doing. Where you turn them sideways, you can see the natural curl, and you can also see if the curls vary over different sections of the eye. So on my personal left eye, my inner lashes on my left eye actually grow downwards, and then the rest of the eye grows straight, whereas my right eye, they all grow straight. So again, another reason why I struggle to get extensions, because lash artists just don't look at me and identify what's going on my eyes and then know how to apply the correct curl or angle that curl to help balance my features. Let's talk about crazy natural lashes. So if you've yet to encounter a client that's got that cocktail of different curls along the lash line, then these images are really going to assist you in how that client may look. So I've got a great before here of one of my clients and a great after, just showing you what her natural lashes do and how I can go about correcting them. So on the left here, you can see a very, very crazy mess of lashes. Like these lashes, they do naturally grow like this. Like she hasn't had any lash lift or anything like this. They're not damaged. But if you can understand how to correctly apply the extensions to these, then actually creating a really sort of perfectly uniform set, as seen in the after image below, is actually relatively easy, but it does just take a little bit of practice. And below, you can see how I have actually managed to rectify all of these crazy lashes that we've got going on and make it look like this client doesn't have this and she's just got a perfectly even, well-styled set of lashes. Now, this image I've got at the bottom here is a really, really great example to show you how natural lashes can have different curls in various sections of the eye. So here, we've actually got an inner corner section, which is like mine, it just grows downwards. Then the middle section, like look at this little bit, these like ones curls upwards. Then these ones, okay, are sort of a little bit upwards. And then these ones sort of are quite normal really. So if you were to get like really super snazzy and use like different curls along your set, in the inner corner here, you'd probably want to put a D curl on these. Then here, you'd probably want to put a CC because these are naturally quite curly. Here you'd want to put a C because they're even more curly, so you don't want to put extra curl on there. And again, a CC. So there's all sorts of different things going on here where you'd want to just balance all of this. So this is where it can get like really complicated, where you might be using lots of different curls in your set to really balance those crazy natural lashes that you've got going on. Welcome back. So now we are going to be looking at working with layers. So on the last page, or the last section of the course, we sort of touched on working on layers and creating the top line effect. And this is a technique that requires the lash artist to apply the correct length to each layer of lash if they want the very tips of the lashes to blend seamlessly. And I do hope you can see how important this technique is, especially when you're working on very crazy natural lashes like we saw, or lashes that grow in very wide layers. Now, most of your clients actually have about 5 to 6 layers of lashes. However, we do tend to group these into 3 layers, with the exception of the very inner and the outer sections of the eye, where we only really have 1 to 2 layers. So we're going to be grouping this into 2 top layers, 2 middle layers, and 2 lower or bottom layers. So if you look at this image, you'll see like top lashes sticking out, there's like a middle lash here, and then we've got the bottom ones that grow very, very low down. Always the ones that are really tricky to get to. But we also need to identify each layer, because if we can't understand layers, and beginners really struggle with this, then we don't know how to lash that layer correctly. And these images at the bottom are going to show you the importance of correct lashing in layers if you want a beautiful, neat top line effect. And it's something that we do judge competition level at. It's a big criteria there, and you can lose marks if you've got stepping in your lash line. So in this image here, this is a mega volume set that I did. Quite a long dolly effect. I don't normally like my inner corners to be that long, but this model desired that for a certain event that she was going to. This is correct lashing of layers. See how all the tips of my extensions look like they've almost been cut with scissors. They all blend seamlessly because I've worked precisely in each layer of the lash line. Whereas over here, this isn't my work, but it's incorrect lashing of layers. It's probably somebody that's maybe a year into their career, and it's actually quite a nice set, but it's a wispy set, but the layers are wrong. So you can see these extensions here, 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 here. They all sit out of the set because you can see they've been attached to top layers, but they've used the same length as they do in that zone. So let's say this might be a zone of 12 millimeters. Every extension in this zone would have been lashed in a 12 millimeter, which is fine. But if you want your tips to blend and you put a 12 millimeter on a top layer lash, which sits much higher, you're going to get a messy top line look. So this is what we're going to look at, how we don't get that zhuzhy textured top, we get a nice sharp top line effect. So like I said, we're going to be applying different lengths to the 3 different layers so that the tips blend, and we have to lash the lowest layer the longest. So this is the layer that sits further away from us when we're seated behind the client. It's the layer that is closer to the under eye pad. Welcome back. In this section we're going to be looking at mapping and styling our clients. So we're going to be bringing everything together that we've learned over the course so far, showing you how we can put it into practice on real clients. Obviously this is my opinion only. This is based on the training that I've had over the years as well as my judging at competition level. But the great thing about styling is it is actually subjective. So you might not agree with what I suggest, and that's absolutely fine. But hopefully it will make you understand what we need to be looking for and the different options that we have available to styling those clients. Now I'm going to look at this first model. So this model is a down-turned model. So we're going to look how we would correctly style her. First of all, let's look at the model's features. So the main eye shape that we've got going on is her down-turned eye. So we're going to be focusing on that most of all. But she is also slightly close set and she is a little bit deep set. She's got that natural shadow that you can see behind the eyelid. Let's look at her brow. She's got a nice soft arch brow. It's not dominate on the face whatsoever. There's nothing really going on that brow that sort of draws my attention to it, so we don't have to focus too much on that. Let's look at the face shape. So we're going to split face shapes, remember, into 2 easy categories. Are they long or are they wide? And her face, I would say, is quite long. I would say she's probably got like an oblong, kind of face, quite a big forehead as well. So we're going to put that into consideration. Complexion, she's medium to dark, and age probably between 20 and 30. So we have to consider all of that. So let's go over here. How would we style? So what's the aim? We're going to lift the eyes. I'm always going to look at the most dominant feature on the face that I think I would want to disguise. Now, it is important for you to say to your client, what is it they want? Because at the end of the day, some of them might say, oh, you know, whatever you think, and this is where you can completely go to town. But other ones might have an idea in the head of what style that they want. And it's always a good idea for them to bring screenshots of photographs or celebrity lashes that they like the look of, because then you can see whether their expectation is realistic or not. I also always have a consultation with my clients. So I have a patch test and consultation before I even do a full set. So this is normally about a week before, but no sooner than 48 hours before to be covered by my insurance. But it also gives me an opportunity to meet that client, take photographs of them and go away and map them. And like I said, this is when I talk to them, you know, what is it that you want? Show me images of what you want. And, you know, there's a lot of clients that I will pretty much do what they want me to do within reason. But most of the time, a lot of my clients say, Frankie, do what you think is right. That's why they come to me. So you have to sort of, obviously, know what it is that you're doing, but also consider that we have to do things for the client to meet their expectations. So just going back to that one, if this person said to me, right, okay, Frankie, you've got free reign, do what you want. For me, it would be lifting those eyes because I do think they make her look a little bit sleepy. I'd want to disguise that little droop that we've got going on in the outer corner because this is the most obvious feature of the face. I could also draw the eyes outwards as well because she is slightly close set and she's got that long face. If I can draw the eyes outwards, it's going to help just to balance her a little bit more. Now my lash style, I'm going to go for a rounded kitten. So it's going to combine the two because obviously a rounded effect will lift the eyes upwards and a kitten effect will draw the eyes outwards. So you can see, well, there's never one generic lash map. It's going to be adapted to how I want it. But if I did a kitten alone, all it would do is draw the eyes outwards. So it would make her slightly close set eyes look wider, which is what we want, but it would do nothing to lift. Whereas I combine the two, so the rounding effect with height sort of over the middle of the eye, but it's a little bit of elongation of the kitten, I've got the best of both worlds. Lash curls and direction, I would probably use a D or an M in the lifted section. I need height. I need a strong curl to lift that droop, so we have to use that. Anything like a C or even a CC is not strong enough on this client to open that eye and lift it upwards. Lengths, to be honest, you're going to have to go long on this model. She's probably got quite strong natural lashes. She's quite dark. She's quite young. You're going to have a lot of length. You need to get out of her deep set eye because her eye is set further back in the head on a lot of clients that are deep set, you can lose 2 to 3 millimeters of length. So a 12 millimeter on a deep set client could actually look a bit like a 9 millimeter. Again, another reason why we always turn the client sideways and look to see how far set back their eyes are in their head. So yeah, I'm going to be going quite long on this model. Technique is going to definitely be some sort of volume or mega volume, because classic lashes will not show up on her. Well, she's got quite dark eyes. She's got a natural shadow there because she's deep set. Yes, I know she's wearing makeup, but she would naturally have that. And like I said, she's got that dark complexion. She's got dark lashes as well. So we really need to make them pop. And the colour of the extensions that I would choose would be black. So we would bring all of that in. So now if we look at this lash mat, I want all of my height sort of in this section. So it's kind of kitten. Remember the kitten effect? But I also want a bit more length here because I want to try and combine the rounding effect, which would go up and drop down, but I want to draw her eyes outwards. So I'm sort of extending my rounding effect to go here. Always keep my outers very, very short. It creates lift to that client. If you were to keep your outers very long and do a cat effect, it's going to drag her eyes downwards. So you have to go short on the outer corners with this model. Now I haven't thrown curls in here because it's all very specific to what look that you want to create. Also it's specific to what her natural lashes are doing, and we can't see that from these images at the front. They do look like they do grow down quite low though. If you look here, you can sort of see this hanging down. Me personally, I'd probably use an M curl across this whole model, and I would use my YY lashes. So I would use my M curl YY lashes on this model. That would probably work absolutely lovely. Yeah, all across the eye. If her lashes grow a bit poker straight, which they look like they do, these will bond absolutely beautifully. And also, like I said, it will just lift the eye. I have a droopy client just like this, and I've done D curl on her and M curl, and the M curl is the best effect that I could do. So this is what I would suggest on this model.
So that was simply a very quick snippet, although it was about 17 minutes long, but it's just trying to show you what is included in my incredible lash mapping and eye styling course. Now I also want to add that I am always here as your mentor and as your trainer. I'm here to offer you the support and the guidance that you need, which to be honest we all need as lash artists. So I just want to reiterate that if you have yet to take any course on mapping and styling, or you simply feel a little bit lost within the subject, then this is a course that you really do need to invest in. Not only as an investment into you, but also your business. Now I know as a young lash artist that I wanted to be the very best in my area so that I could target those high-end clients and make a profitable lash business. I didn't want to be just another mediocre lash artist who could only charge a limited price on my lashes. So for me, this is what sent me on my journey to travel the world, seeking out the best lash trainers so that I could be just like them. And then what happened as a result of that was I got recognised as a very talented lash artist, not only in my local area, but also online. And that led to invites to be a trainer, a judge, and a speaker. So for me, it was really worth the investment. So if you are serious about growing your business and you really want to stand out from the crowd, this is an investment you cannot afford to be without. So I would absolutely love you to join me inside my lash mapping and eye styling course and to start your journey to be the best artist in your area with full books and being able to charge what you're worth. And don't forget, if you have any questions, you can reach out to me on any of my social media platforms at Eyelash Excellence, or just drop me an email at frankie@eyelashexcellence.com. Have a wonderful day.